Peace, welcome back to my channel. My name is Onye, and today I want to share with you a very powerful tool that has helped me along my journey, and I truly believe that it will help you along yours. Now, before we get into it, I wanted to share a little bit about me. Now, I am a teacher, coach, artist, and entrepreneur. Now, those titles will continue to vary, will continue to evolve and change. And the way that I show up within these titles has evolved and has changed. For the past 7 years, I have been a doula and had my own doula business and supported over 100 families. I recently closed that business and have shifted to more individual life coaching, so a general life coaching, but focused on mindset and self-mastery. So that falls in line with the teaching. I teach yoga, meditation, breath work, and all the things that fall under supporting and shifting your mindset to support you on this journey called life. Now, as far as artistry and as an artist, I'm currently showing up as a photographer, a DJ, and I dance. I've always danced and I will continue to dance till the day I move on from this physical existence. Dance is my medicine. Dance is a part of me. Dance is me. And so that is within the artistry. And as far as entrepreneur, that shifts and varies. As I mentioned, I was a doula, so that was a business, and as an entrepreneur, I believe that we find solutions, and so I'm constantly finding solutions. And so my businesses or entrepreneurial ventures may be grandiose or may be fairly small, but it's all in the name of how can I offer a solution to this problem for people, for a large group of people, small group of people, for a person. And that is my entrepreneurship journey. Right now, it's focused on wellness spaces, real estate development, and we'll see how that goes. So if any of that resonates with you, keep watching as I jump into this tool that has supported me. So the tool that I'm talking about is forgiveness. Don't click off this video. Forgiveness. And not necessarily what you may have heard about forgiveness, but forgiveness to your parents. So what I'm offering to you is to forgive your parents. Now, this may create some friction, some resistance, some triggers within you, which I invite you to breathe into and ask yourself some questions on why that is happening. But forgiveness. Now, if you look into the power of forgiveness, not only for yourself, but for other people, you can see the power of the action of it. It's healing. It releases you from the stories. It releases you from the bondage, the history, the cycle of blaming. It releases you. And not only does it release you, but if you are able to forgive out loud to that person, in particular we're talking about parents and we'll get more into it, but if you are able to apologize directly to that person that you have been having these feelings because they have done something to you, you believe that they have done something to you, you blame them for this or that, if you're able to come to a point to forgive them and speak it out to them, there is so much power that comes from that. There is so much of a energetic release that comes from that. You offer yourself a glimpse of peace, and you offer them a glimpse of peace. You may be like, I don't want to do any of that. This person has wronged me. This is irreparable. irreparable. I think that's the word, irreparable. This is unforgiving. Yes, I have experienced some traumas in the past where I can also say the same thing, where I can never forgive this person because what they did to me is damaging. But with the work that I have been doing along the years, not only through the work that I've shared with you, but my own inner work, and releasing the obstacles within my body, just releasing, right? Peeling the layers. Through this work, I have come to a point of forgiveness for all of the people in my life. Now, have I directly said it to every single one of the people that have wronged me? No. But to the point of this video, I have apologized to excuse me. I have apologized to my parents, both my mother and my father. Now, I was raised by a single mother. So my parents divorced when I was 5. And so if you have a similar experience, you know what it's like to be raised by a single mother. More than likely, she had multiple jobs. More than likely, she was in fight or flight for the majority of the time that you were raised. More than likely, you did not see your parent present with you or present with themselves. You may have glimpses of their joy, which is probably something that you have taken on with you into your life. And if you look back, you'll see, like for me, for example, my mother, when I was growing up, when I saw her in her most joyful state was when she was cooking, when she was dancing, when she was listening to music, when she was cleaning. So now, as an adult, okay, I love a clean home. It brings me joy. It brings me so much joy. I love dancing, like I mentioned. It brings me so much joy. I love music. I share music as a DJ. It brings me so much joy. And I don't necessarily want to say that I love cooking, but I love food. I love good food. I love quality food. I love nourishing food because that is what my mother provided for me. So I have attracted a partner who is a chef. Boom! Of course that would happen. I have various friends that love cooking, and I'm actually really good at it. And so all of these things were in line with seeing my mother in her most joyful state, and I took that on as something that brings me joy as well. So if you grew up with a single parent, a single mother, maybe you can trail back to the things that bring you joy and notice that those were maybe the moments that you saw your mother, I'm specifically talking about mothers, doing that thing, experiencing that thing. And so I am very similar to her. Very similar, but there are very, 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 very different attributes and personality traits that we have. Very different. And because she has sacrificed so much, I have the privilege of now choosing not to be in fight or flight. I have the privilege of choosing not to be in fight or flight. And in comparison to her, I mean, she did have the choice. However, if we're ignorant to these tools, there is no other choice. It's make or break. I have to survive. So in doing that, our relationship has its ebbs and flows. It has been a roller coaster. And I have created stories along my journey of what she did or did not provide, what she did or did not give to me, what she did or did not do, right? And so there was a lot of blame, a lot of attachment to her and excuses like she did this, so this is why I'm this way. All of that. I recently, within the last few years, have forgiven her for all of it, for all the stories. I have said it to her maybe once or twice, and I will probably continue to say it. I'm in my 30s now, and the amount of stories that have been embedded into my mind are run deep. And so I will continue to apologize. Mommy, you're more than likely watching this. I am sorry for being such a rebellious daughter, for being such a hard-headed daughter. I'm sorry for putting you through so much stress, through so much turmoil, through so much. I am sorry. I am sorry. And I am sorry. And I love you. So, here, apologizing. And if I can remember the first time I did apologize to her, we got into a deep conversation and I noticed a release from her. I think we got into the story of her past and she actually shed some tears. And it was a very powerful moment for the two of us. So the importance of taking the time to apologize to her, not only did it support me and release a lot of the stories, a lot of the tension within my body, and so much energy was able to flow through, it also supported her in her journey. And that is all that I could ask for. Now, to my father, my parents divorced when I was 5, and I did not have a regular relationship with him. He called every weekend, from what I remember, until I hit senior year or after I graduated high school. And that's because he just eventually gave up. I wasn't as responsive. I wasn't as present with him. But he was doing his best with what he was given. And his best was reaching out to his children every week. And so I started to create stories about who he was. I started to create stories about why I was who I was based off who he was. And yeah, I had terrible descriptions of who my father was. And that was because I blamed myself. I blamed myself for their divorce. I blamed myself for his leaving. And at that age, at the age of 5, which is a very crucial age, and so I do advise you to think about what happened to you around the age of 5, that you may have created a story that is all because of me, because at that age, everything revolves around you. It's all because of me. So this person did that because of me. This happened because of me. I invite you to examine that and release that. And it's easier said than done, but that is what supported me. One of the other things that has supported me in my journey. So back to that, I created so many different stories that pushed him further and further away. And I realized in my dating relationships that not only was I going through stuff with mom trauma, mother trauma, I had daddy issues. And not in the way that society has grouped daddy issues, but again, I could be wrong. I had them. And so after the pandemic, there was so much that uprooted for me, and I made a conscious decision to call my father. And I'll talk about how I got into even that idea in the first place on another video. But I made a conscious decision to call my father and apologize to him and to forgive him. And so in the conversation, I apologized, which is another topic I will do in another video, but I forgave him. I let him know that I forgave him for doing what he had to do for his own sanity, for his own well-being, for his whatever story that he was attached to in that moment at the divorce, why he decided to leave the household with a newborn son and a 5-year-old daughter. I forgave that. And not only did I forgive it within my body and within my spirit, within my soul, within my being, I let him know that I forgave him. Now the response, this was part of the conversation. There was so much more in that conversation. But the response, he cried. He cried. And my stepmother, his new wife, later got on the phone and said, I don't know what you said to him. I don't know what you guys have just talked about, but your father doesn't cry. He is in tears right now, a basket case, and it must have been something powerful that you said and that you did. And it was. And from that conversation, I then booked a trip to spend, I think it was 10 days with him and his new wife that I had never met. I think I spoke to her on the phone once or twice. Literally, never met. I'm repeating that I had never met. To fly across the United States to where he lived and spend 10 days, just me, with the two of them in their home, and reconnect with my father, reconnect with him from that conversation. And so some or many of you watching this, listening to this, may be like, that is something I could never do. That sounds good. All right, sis. All right, we hear you. You make it sound like it's the answer to everything. It may not be. It may be the first step. It may be the 100th step. But if there's anything that I can offer you in this video, which is the main point of this video, is forgiveness. Forgive your parents. Forgive your parents. Forgive your parents. They did what they could do, the best that they could do with what they were given. They chose to have children. They chose to have you. You, and you may not want to believe this, you chose them as parents. So on this journey, on this existence, on this experience that you are having, your connection with your parents was written. And so if any of this in this video resonates, I invite you to forgive your parents. Now they have maybe one, maybe both, may have did some things to you that have caused you a lot of pain. And I do not want to discount that. But what I do want to offer, that maybe this may be a opportunity to go through some healing, not only for yourself, but for that parent. Now, maybe one of your parents or both of your parents has passed away, and maybe you are angry at them for dying. That is also a possibility. Forgive them. And you may not be able to talk to their physical body today, but they are there. They are everywhere to hear you. Forgive them. Write it down. Say it out loud. Forgive your parents and release yourself from the pain. Release yourself from the cycle that continues to play in your head, because it will inevitably support you with your future relationships and your current relationships. It will support in your mental health. It will support in your self-esteem. It will support in a holistic well-being. Now, forgiveness is a process. It took me some time to even think about that. It took me some time to even comprehend or understand what that would look like to forgive my parents and the various other people that have wronged me. But I can tell you right now, today, that forgiveness has been one of the most powerful tools that I have in my toolkit for this journey called life. So I hope this video helped you in some type of way. If you are interested in seeing more, I have a plethora of different videos on this channel, and I invite you to click on the next one that you see here. If you'd like to work with me in a more intimate capacity, I've left some information in the description box below. I invite you to click on those, check those out, join my newsletter, which has turned into also my mailing list. So if you're looking to just stay abreast with what's going on in my life, I invite you to check out the links below. And I am also on Instagram. And so if you are an Instagrammer, I invite you to follow me there. And until next time, peace. And in spaces that are focused on wellness. I had a feeling just when